So those are some shots of your university, and I hope they bring back some happy memories of your time here. Now, the main reason for making this video is to record your graduation. Today, you join the graduates of the university, and at the moment, those are about 80,000 in all. Moreover, they come from all countries, and they're now spread in all corners of the world. So this is a university, not just a university of the United Kingdom, but a university that is recognized worldwide. It is a large university and an important one, and in graduating from it, you've done well. We, of course, like all other universities in the United Kingdom, are at the moment under some pressure. Society is wishing its universities to change, and the University of Manchester is no exception. So continuously, we have to move forward to adapt to what is required and to abandon what is no longer required. We believe we're doing that. But there are one or two things that remain constant and can't be changed. We, when we educate our students from this university, are very keen that they should be able to do various important things. They should be able to marshal fact, develop argument, and above all, I think, have a regard for the truth. And we hope we've done that as far as you're concerned. But enough of all that, now on to the video of the graduation itself. On behalf of the university and all my colleagues who are on the platform here this morning, I want to give you a warm and hearty welcome to the university today. First, it's an occasion to offer personal congratulations to all the graduates who are getting their degrees today. For you who've worked so very hard to get this success, this is an occasion for special celebration. And we're very pleased, of course, that so many parents and other relatives and friends are here today to share this occasion with you. But let's just spare a thought for those who are here, those who are graduating today, whose parents and friends are not able to be with them. I'm sure they're thinking of you now, and we're very sorry they can't be here. Now, in doing well enough to get a degree, you've certainly achieved something of which you've every right to be proud. Undergraduate degrees in the United Kingdom are amongst the shortest in the world, but by international repute, they are regarded amongst the most highly. And our postgraduate qualifications, either by research or by taught courses, I think challenge comparison with any in the world. So those of you who are graduating today have passed a stiff test. Earlier, I mentioned parents and relatives and friends, and at this point I like to give them a special vote of thanks. Student life, particularly these days, where it produces enormous pressures on people, And it's a rare student, actually, who passes his or her time here in the university without at some stage having to call on family or friends for help or support. And for us in the university, it's always a matter of the greatest satisfaction to see how readily that help is forthcoming. The warmth and freedom of support is very notable and very agreeable for us to see. So thank you very much, too, for those of you who've acted in this way. Now, we've reached a point, I think, in education, particularly higher education, but also in the schools, where great changes are on us. There's already a national curriculum, and there are very considerable changes afoot in relation to examinations. For example, I think the days of the A-level as the dominant indicator of entry to a university may soon be drawing to a close, and you may have seen, even over the last few days, representatives from the schools arguing that the universities should base a university entrance more on AS levels than on A levels, with all that implies for a broader school education and requirement for university entry. But we'll also, I think, over the next decade, certainly see a wider group of ages from a broader spectrum of society and with a much wider range of qualifications coming into the university system than is the case at the moment. And, of course, for all of us, university education will not end when we get our degrees. I'm sure continuing education, updating, and all these various educational activities will go on much later into our life. It'll be, in fact, part of the whole of our career for all of us. So this is going to be a radical change, I think, in the way in which universities fit into the educational scene. And for my part, I welcome the changes. Universities such as Manchester will rise to these challenges and the various changes they bring. But there have to be safeguards, I think. First amongst them has to be that we have to protect the quality of what we do. Quality must be maintained, and that with a widening range of people coming to the university will be something which will not be easy. And the wider access to education, I think, must not be dominated by financial considerations. I think the entry to university must depend on the ability of the person concerned and that person's ability to benefit from the education that a university can bring. Now, all this needs a dialogue between the government and the educators at all levels in the country. And moreover, I think very strongly it has to be a dialogue with the educational advantage of the person being educated at the point of focus, not politics or sectarian interests or matters of that kind. Now, as I say, because of these changes and many others, I think we'll see universities alter greatly in the next decade. But underneath this change, there are fundamental truths which don't change, and to which all of us must remain absolutely constant. We're here to help people to learn to think and to marshal fact and to develop arguments and to deploy arguments, and above all, to respect the truth. And this is a role, even a way of life, which has produced enormous success for Britain over the centuries, but it's a hard road for people to follow. These things don't come easily, and all those of you who are getting degrees today will know that only too well. But back to today, those of you who finished your degree course here, there's no need for you to sever your links with the university. Indeed, I hope very much that you will not. When you sign the graduates register, you become a member of the university convocation, and that's a body of our graduates which has its own place within the university and which exists to keep us in touch with you and you in touch with us. We're fortunate to have an active convocation in Manchester, and I hope you'll play your part in it. As a graduate, you'll also receive a graduate magazine from time to time, which will outline various things that have happened over the last year or so. It was first published in '86, and I have to say that it's appeared 2 or 3 times now and has proved a great success and generates, as far as I'm concerned, a great deal of mail, most of it extremely positive. So, if nothing else, we will be in touch with you by that means. So now, those of you who are about to receive your degrees, our hearty congratulations and our very best wishes to all of you for your future.
Mr. Vice-Chancellor, on behalf of the Senate of the University, I present to you for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, Marcella Corsi.
Hold on.
Jeanette Edwards.
Hold on.
Hoda Abdel Monem El Shakawi. Vivienne Griffiths. Norma Elizabeth Miller. And for the degree of Master of Arts in Economic and Social Studies, Evangelia Athanasaki.
Hold on.
Lindsay Calpin.
Hold on.
Adrian Cunningham.
Hold on.
Peter Ryland Gosling. Tracy Elaine Harrison. Dazan Huang. Vitura Kavizemberg Kavari. Maria Mikalev. Keith Charles Robinson. Harold Taylor. Michael John Williams. John Arthur Brimley. And for the degree of Bachelor of Arts in Economic and Social Studies, Alvin Birdie. Ben John Hillier.
Hold on.
Menelaos Melinos Pisurios.
Hold on.
Alistair Jonathan Sharp.
Hold on.
Man Chung Alan Tan.
Hold on.
Hei Y Andy Yuen. Stuart Ma Adamson.
Hold on.
Isabel Claire Allen.
Hold on.
John Charles Andrew. Alexander Aldous Ashmore. Gillian Ann Atherton.
Hold on.
Fiona Ann Bainbridge.
Hold on.
Claire Ruth Bartlett.
Hold on.
Janet Felicity Bell.
Hold on.
Jeffrey Edward Benveniste. Michael Roy Bishon. Jonathan Bowler. Christopher Paul Brooks. Helen Margaret Brooks. Philip Edward Bushley. Mary Jane Bugg. Charles Robin Bundy. Nicholas James Burke. Kay Cameron. Man Lai Chan. John Paul Chappell. Lap K. Ricky Chung. Weng Hong Chu. Neil Stephen Clark. Angus Peter Cleary. Jonathan Michael Cohen. Philip Graham Reeve Coppard. Gideon Corby. Catherine Jane Crabb. Lucy Victoria Crompton. Zarina Abdul Karim. Carolyn Bruce Donald. Harvey Lewis Eagle. Victoria Louise Diana Earle. Christopher James Eastill. Andrew John Fern. Richard Simon Fetterman. Joseph Daniel Francis. John Gallimore. Simon Oliver Goldring. Michael David Gordon. Jane Alison Grogan. Joshua Gabay. Paul Roy Hansen. Jeremy Mark Harris. Ian Hay. Jun Fei Hung. Nicola Claire Hutchins. David Allen Ingham. Paul Nicholas Jackson. Susan Elizabeth Jackson. Shireen Louise Giller. Andrew Robert Johnson. Mark William Joseph. Richard John Kelly. Robert Barry Kelly. Stuart Elcon Klein. Philip David Knowles. V.K. Veni Kolipara. K. Wa Lam. Seng Chao Lee. Siok Ling Liao. David John Littleford. Jacqueline Lozides. Darren John Manning. Darren Paul Martin. Richard Philip McGuff. Sasha Thomas Adam Mizurf. Rajul Kishore Modi. Ian Nicholas Mullen. Anthony Lawrence Mullen. Andrew Ian Mackenzie Murdoch. David Lawrence Neary. Rupert Thomas Newton. Edward John O'Brien. Richard Martin Pierce. Michael John Quayle. Mehdi Mohammed Reza. Andrew Gavin Rich. Michelle Louise Roberts. Jane Louise Robinson. Stephen Matthias Rodriguez. Annette Jane Rao. Jeremy Nigel Sandler. Mark Samuel Scher. Darren David Singer. Patrick Brendan Smith. Timothy William Spence. Robert Anthony Stitcher. Nicola Jane Stubbings. Siuwai Vera Suen. David Ian Swabrick. Mankit James Tam. Mark Roy Thomas. Neil Allen Thompson. Janet Melinda Thorne. Joanne Ruth Thornfield. Elizabeth Jill Traynor. Reginos Pantelaki Tsanos. Cheryl Lisa Vining. Stephen Colin Welford. Andrew Francis Wiles. Nicola Margaret Wynne. Fiona Catherine Wiseman. Eleanor Ann Woolman. Benjamin James Worley. Joanna Melanie Wright. Perry Nolan Yam. Jonathan Guy Alvarez. Paul Goodwin Archer. Nicholas Charles Aveyard. Jonathan Charles Mayer Bagel. Alison Jane Margaret Baker. Daniel Bazzini. Guy Anthony Beeston. Catherine Mary Bourne. Mark Gerard Brogan. Simon Robert Brown. Jane Diane Butler. Michael Owen Cassidy. Siu On Cheng. Li Li Chu. Heng Chio Jeremy Choi. Big Ling Betty Chu. Bavinder Singh Chumba. Adam Scott Clark. Mark Oliver Coombs. David Crockett. David Keith Cross. Alec James Crossland. Simon Lewis Dunker. Dabinder Kaur Danda. Catherine Patricia Donahoe. Nana Marcia Dua. Michael Dunleavy. Brian John Elliott. Deborah Diane Epstein. Philip Hugh Evans. Nita Audrey Fisher. Heyman Mei Fong. Andrew John Fraser. Richard Peter Gardner. Emil Gaynor. Matthew John David Gill. Peter Gillespie. Beverly Jane Gleave. Simon Robert Goodwin. Ian Gordon. Mark Simon Gordon. Angus Graham. Martha Nefaitu Haju Evangeliou. Stuart Arthur Hans. David Hargreaves. Rachel Mary Louise Harwood. William Hayes. Julia Ann Horan. Mark Ian Horan. James Alfred Lloyd Hogego. Christos Ioannidis. Laura Cherry Jackson. Darren Paul Jones. Paula Ann Jordan. Andrew Cale. Navdeep Singh Kinder. Geraldine Coe. Lawrence Raphael Krafchick. Ching Fun Amy Lau. Well done. Stephen Douglas Laws. Well done. Gary Norton Lee. Well done. Susan Jane Lee. Well done. Choi Ling Lian. Well done. Yong Cheng Freddie Lim. Well done. Emma Lissenden. Well done. Joanna Claire Mason. Well done. Craig Andrew McIntyre. Robert Simon Miller. Well done. John William Henry Mitchell. Well done. Sarah Jane Morton. Well done. Savavit Nandra. Chon Min Daniel Ong. Elizabeth Pohl. Well done. Adrian Lee Pope. Well done. James William Jonathan Preedy. Well done. Imran Razak. Kevin Andrew Richards. Elizabeth Helen Riddell. Well done. Jennifer Francis Robertson. Well done. Ivan John Rogov. Well done. Sarah Caroline Rossiter. Well done. Amit Ruparelia. Well done. Francis Ryan. Well done. Gugala Yanois Skordi. Well done. Henry John Seddon. Well done. Neil Richard Sethi. Well done. Julian Shaw. Kian Po Sim. Joanna Mary Stevenson. Darren Story. Sally Jane Strafford. Melissa Street. Simon John Taverner. Mark Jeffries Thorpe. Philip Richard Valentine. Abigail Waraka. Martin James Watt. Carolyn Ann Watts Charnley. Paul Armstrong Welton. Carolyn Suzanne Wilson. Andrew Wilson Smith. Andrew Winterbottom. Philippa Laurentia Wood. Louise Elizabeth Woodman. Christine Andrea Wumble. Po Man Yu. Peter John Bibby. Jean Marguerite Brown. Julian Carlyle. Pauline Chan. Jane Elizabeth Crook. Deborah Marie Francis. Amolak Singh Kalirai. Islam Zafar Khan. Emma Ratcliffe. Miu Che Michelle Wong. And for the degree of Bachelor of Arts in Economic and Social Studies, James Edward Burns. Edward Iziu Kalu. Jacqueline Clark. Dominic John Coops. Christopher Anthony G. Arthur James Richard Martin. Cheek Matune. Christopher Graham Roots. Margaret Louise Tate. And for the degree of Bachelor of Social Science in Social Anthropology with Honours, Emily Sarah Hinchelwood. Claudia South. Jeremy Richard Gross. Sarah Elizabeth Heathcote. Helen Anna Mead. Usha Subaswamy. Alison Marie Wellen. Catherine Emma Bailey. Maeve Elizabeth Cross. and in social policy with honours, Nicola Case. Anita Josephine Cullen. Pamela Humphreys. Nadine Nolan. Louise Mary Wright. Reza Mary Humphreys. Jonathan Dennis Salis. Louise Ann Walton. And in sociology with honours, Joanna Michelle Swab. Monica Curran. Rebecca Louise Jackson. Enid Monica Robinson. Lynette Lace. Darpo Williams.
Salva sit universitas nostra mancuniensis, hoc precensis consurgamus. So now you're leaving the university and going out to start a career in the world. We here in the university wish you the very best of luck. We're sure you'll do very well. When you graduate, as you've just done, you join a body of university graduates called Convocation. This body serves two purposes. First of all, it allows us to keep in touch with you, and we do this by the publication from time to time of a magazine, which we call Manchester Graduate. It'll tell you what's happening in the university, what's new, what's going on, how we're changing, how we're keeping up with the times. But we also want you, through Convocation, or indeed by contact with your old professors and tutors, to let us know what you're doing, how you're getting on in the world, what your experiences have been. This is very interesting to us. Please don't neglect to do it. So now, the world awaits you. Good luck.